Hello, this is Matthew with TraderBot Marketplace, here to discuss how to set up your MT4 platform for those just starting out. Go over a few basic stuff. First thing I'll do is I'll show you how to install both an EA or an indicator, whether it be through us or somewhere else. If you've downloaded an EA or indicator in a zip file, you want to take the zip file wherever you have it saved. The simplest way to save it in your MT4 platform or folder is go to File, Open Data Folder, and you want to go to your MQL4 folder. For an EA or Expert Advisor or an Auto Trader, you would go to Experts. If you have an EX4 file or even an MQL4 file, you would simply drag it into this folder here. In the case of a zip file, you want to take the file in question, drag it in here. To unzip it, you want to right click and go to whatever program you have to unzip zip files. Go to extract here, and it should pop up there. For indicators, you would do the same thing. You would just go to the indicators folder. Again, if you have an EX4 or MQL4 file, you would drag it into here. In case of a zip drive, just drag and drop in there and unzip it. And if you have your platform open after you do this, you'll need to close it, and you need to go to your platform again and open it back up. And if you don't have a chart already open, the way in which you would load a chart is, well, there's two ways. If you have the Market Watch window open here, you can toggle it at this icon here, the arrows pointing in opposite directions. But to open a chart, say to open the euro, do a click and drag. Another way you can do it is to go to File, New Chart, and then you would select it, select the symbol in one of these menus or the top. Okay, and to load an EA, you would go to here in the navigator. Again, if you don't see it, just click the folder with a star. Go to Expert Advisors. Make sure your menu is expanded. And I will load our Signal Manager. You click, drag onto the chart. If it has parameters, the parameters will come up here, and you can make your necessary settings. Some have drop downs, sometimes you have to type it in. You also want to make sure live trading is checked, and you want to make sure that you have long and short, unless of course your EA has a directional bias. Click OK. Actually, I'm going to load our multi-scan. Same thing here. Make sure live trading is selected. You want to make sure that this is depressed and is green, the auto trading button. One way that you'll know the EA is loaded correctly is you'll see a smiley face here. However, if it's not loaded correctly, for example, if you have this off, If you see a frown or a sad face, you know you've done it wrong. To remove an EA, you go to right click, Expert Advisors, and remove, and it'll remove it. If you want to change parameters, you would go to Properties and make any necessary changes. And of course you can hit OK or cancel. But to remove, you would go to Remove. The indicator works in the same manner. You would just click on the Indicators menu. Click the indicator in question, drag, and again the inputs will come up. You can also change colors if they're not on the main input. And your EA will be loaded on there. This is our watermark. To remove, you would right click, go to Indicators list, and you would click the indicator in question. If you want to edit the parameters, go to Edit. You'll have that option there, and you can delete and remove it. Another way you can, if the indicator is in a separate window, another way you can remove it is this. For example, the RSI. If it's in a separate window, you would just right click and delete indicator window, and that will remove it. If you want to use one of MT4's built-in indicators, you would simply go to Insert up here at the top, Indicators. Some will show up here, but you can go to Trend-based indicators, oscillators, volumes, Bill-Williams, or custom-based. And you would simply choose the indicator in question, and it would load with its parameters. Sometimes the chart history isn't always loaded or isn't automatically downloaded when you first load up the platform. So if your history is lacking or if a chart won't come up, you can go to Tools, History Center, and if you haven't, if a pair isn't showing up, what you can do is, let's see if I have one. Basically, if the chart history hasn't been downloaded or has never been loaded, this will be grayed out. So you would simply go to click on it, go to download, and it'll ask you, give you a download warning, click OK. And if in this case I can't really show you, but if the data hasn't been loaded, you'll see a bar that fills up green as it downloads. But once it's finished, your history will be downloaded. Okay, there's an example. Now, even though the history may be downloaded, that sometimes certain EAs or indicators will demand data further back. Even though the history has been downloaded, you still may need to scroll further back. And this actually draws the history that's been downloaded. To scroll a chart further than your current position, you would need to turn this button off, and you would simply move the chart back. To return to your current position, you would simply turn this button back on. And to shift to the end of the chart from the right border, you would simply turn this off and back on again. But that was those are the basics in setting up your platform. Want to follow along our next video? I'll show you how to set up charts, templates, and profiles. I thank you for watching, and happy trading.